when we joined the military, we moved to our first base, which was Fort Lewis, Washington, at Christmas. But that first Christmas, I refused to celebrate. I hated it. I was so sad to miss my family. On my grandma's side, or my mom's side, the whole family would go to my grandma's every Christmas Eve. And growing up, I didn't really care about Christmas Day. That's what I looked forward to. So my first Christmas being away was so hard. We did end up celebrating Christmas, but with my husband, but definitely not. I was not very happy. And since that time, I've been able to change my mindset on Christmas traditions, or Christmas, I should say, with being military. So today is another collab with the We Love Collabs Facebook group, and I thought that I would put a little spin on it. Instead of just doing the topic is traditions, rather than talking about what we do specifically for our holiday traditions, I thought I would share tradition ideas for military or others who move frequently. And the two overarching ideas I want to say is, when you're trying to come up with traditions, think about practicality, portability, and replicability. What things can you do easily that don't require a lot, like don't require a specific location for it? Replicability. What can you replicate, even if it's not the exact same thing? Ideas that you can do other places. And the other idea is to focus on the larger idea rather than the specific details. You know, a church service, not a specific service at the church you grew up with, or you know, going on a neighborhood holiday light tour, but not necessarily the one that you grew up with or that you always went to before you joined the military. So those are the overarching ideas, and I'm going to give you now 15 specific ones. First one is a countdown calendar. This could be like the paper chain type of countdown calendar, or it could be, this one's a military idea. The commissary always sells advent calendars that are, I've always seen them with the German chocolates in them. They put them out, I usually see them like early November, but already by early December they're gone. So if you're going to do that, you know, make sure you hit it early. You can also find them at stores like Target and Walmart, those kind of places, the PX. So, you know, a countdown calendar, whatever it is, but make it one, again, that keeping the idea of a countdown calendar, but not necessarily the specific one that you must do every year. Number two, we love the elves. We don't do Elf on the Shelf because he creeps me out and I don't really like the story of it, but our elves just have fun. They are not the complete mess, mischief type things that you can find all over Pinterest. Last night, our elves were just hanging from the light in the dining room. Sometimes, most of what our elves do are just fun. They also do things like bring the Christmas pajamas that my kids would get anyway. They bring a movie, a Christmas movie, or a Christmas book, which I would have bought anyway. Those kind of things. We are not the Pinterest elf variety. But the good thing about them is that they're small, they're packable. Our specific ones are from Elf Magic, and we love them. My kids love them. They look forward to them every year, and so do I, truthfully. Number three, this was an idea that I heard from a friend. Before she joined the military, she and her sister and aunts, all of them, would gather together and do a baking session. It's a pretty common thing. So when she got married to an army soldier, she couldn't participate in it. So instead, she plans a Skype session. They set up the computer on their end, she set up her computer on our end, and everybody just Skypes while they're cooking and rolling and baking. It's, very casual, a lot of people coming and going and whatever, but I thought that's such a fun idea and a way to really connect without the pressure of everybody trying to find an hour to sit down and do a Skype session. No, just do it casually while you're doing something that you would have been doing anyway. I love that idea. And I just heard that this summer, and I'm trying to think of how I could incorporate that idea, because I just think it's a fun way to connect. Suggestion number 4 is to plan a neighborhood light tour. When we were in Hawaii, the weather was nice and go out and walk the neighborhoods to see the lights. In El Paso, we did the same thing. Georgia was a little cooler, so we loaded up the car. And here I expect to do the same thing, except our neighborhood doesn't have lights hardly anywhere, so we have to find someplace. And to find someplace, I find that asking the locals is really the best way to do it. Ask the cashier at the grocery store or at Walgreens. On Twitter, this was a completely random idea. I was conversing with a local newspaper reporter on Twitter and about another topic, and it occurred to me that'd be a great person to ask about holiday lights. So I sent him a message out this morning to ask where he suggests to do that. So yeah, connect with the locals and find out where the best places to go for Christmas lights are. Suggestion number 5 is to do Christmas or pajamas. Our elves bring Christmas pajamas whenever they come. That's the first thing they do. Before elves, we did it on Thanksgiving night. I know some people like to do new pajamas on Christmas Eve. That's an idea that it doesn't matter where you live, you can do that. Tip number 6, a yearly ornament. I wish that I had thought of this idea before. We have ornaments from different places we lived, but read the idea to get one every year from someplace you live, but not necessarily representing the area. You can. Visitor centers are a great choice for that, holiday bazaars, but also to seek out ornaments that are made by local artisans. That's such a great way to shop small business, and when you are finished with the military, to be able to remember that year. Tip number 7 is to choose a time to read a specific book, maybe by candlelight, or watch a certain movie at the same time every year. One of our traditions is to watch Christmas Vacation on Christmas Eve. We also watch It's a Wonderful Life on Christmas Eve. So maybe something like that. Maybe kick off this season, December 1st or Thanksgiving, whatever, and choose a specific one. Or a certain book on, a certain day. I would suggest that you choose a book that can be available, purchased on Kindle, and a movie that can be purchased, to be downloaded. That way, if you happen to be traveling around that date, you can still watch it or read it. If you have had an overseas move and limited on weight, you can still have that tradition available to you. I was just editing my video and realized that where I thought my camera had cut off and where it actually cut off were entirely different. So if you notice there's a change in lighting and such, because I'm recording several hours later, it's pitch black outside. So this is a little interim between the two missing segments. Suggestion number 8 is to pick a service project that is located, a lot of places. Toys for Tots is a nationwide program. Commissaries will have the bags of food that you can buy that'll be donated to soldier families. The PXs will have a box at the front by the checkout where you can put a new toy in there for soldiers. So those kind of projects can be done. Suggestion number 9 is that choose something small, like a small decoration or a small plate, small bowl, that is lightweight and preferably doesn't break easily, and always have that as a display. If it's small and it's packable, that means if you are PCSing over the holidays, you can throw it in your suitcase. If you are traveling home and you still want to be able to carry on that tradition, you can do that. You at least have one thing that no matter where in the world you are, and no matter how the Christmas celebration looks, you will still have that you know that is something you always have on Christmas. Suggestion number 10 is something that my family really enjoys, and that's a holiday puzzle. We get one every year. They are lightweight, they're inexpensive, they're easy to find, and we lay it out and work on it all year long. We'll leave, all month long. That way you can pack it, again, if you're PCSing over the holidays. If you are in a new home and you don't have your goods yet, you'll have plenty of space to work on it. And something that everyone can do, something that doesn't require a lot of time, at a specific time. You can work on it here and there while you're cooking dinner or whatever. And it's something fun that you can do and accomplish by the end. Suggestion number 11 is to choose a holiday meal or maybe a special meal sometime during the holiday season that you always have, but that has ingredients that are easy to find. Now, this isn't such a problem now because there's the internet and you can find anything you want. But even 10, 15 years ago when we were first joining, the internet wasn't what it is today. And if you go back even further, pre-internet days, you may not be able to find ingredients that you liked at one meal, but not. You've moved now, especially regional type ingredients. Well, this was an idea that today I went searching for, see if I could find a few more suggestions. And I found this one and I loved the idea of it. A Christmas tree slumber party. So perhaps the day you set up your tree, or maybe Christmas Day night, or maybe the last night before you take your tree down. Whatever that tradition you want it to be is. Family slumber party underneath the Christmas tree lit. I really like the idea, especially of doing it your last night up, because I know a lot of people will save their, if their spouse is deployed and coming home, maybe January or February, and they'll leave the tree up until then. So doing it that night can be a tradition that you can have no matter what is happening with your spouse. So I love that idea of a family slumber party underneath the lit Christmas tree. Suggestion number 13, traditional Christmas picture with Santa. The PX always has a Santa, or I shouldn't say always, because I'm sure there are PX locations that don't, but you can find PX Santas most places, especially CONUS locations. The malls have them. There's nearly always some place in your community that you'll be able to find a place to get your picture taken with Santa. Number 14 is to do Christmas cards from your area. Now, this could be, specific to your area, or maybe it's by a local artisan. I love, that idea of going back to the ornament idea of, buying something that represents your area. Most years we'll do Christmas gifts that include something from the area. So that's another spin on it. If you've got a camera, and most people do, go out and snap some pictures of the area. And then you can go online, Snapfish, all those places. You can do Christmas card with your own pictures on it, cheap, and a great way to share the love of areas that a lot of people will never get to see. So that is suggestion number 14, and suggestion number 15 is one of my favorites, and I love that it has a military tie to it, and that is to follow Santa on the NORAD tracker. If you don't know the story of how this came to be, I think it was in 1955, there was an ad that Sears put in a newspaper to call a phone number that was to be Santa, and they put in the wrong phone number. And of all phone numbers, it was the number to the desk. The red phone, the president has a red phone, and this desk has a red phone to let you know of a nuclear attack. This was 1955, or Cold War. Of all numbers in the world, this is the number they put in there, is this red phone number. I love that part of it. And so, a guy answers, and the kid says, "The Santa." He kind of plays along, and then they start getting all these calls in, And the colonel puts his soldiers on duty to answer these phones and pretend to be Santa. Well, in the midst of this, the soldiers have up on a window drawn a Santa, kind of represent where he's at, and that is how the NORAD Santa Tracker story was born. I've got a clip from the StoryCorps, NPR's StoryCorps, of the son of the colonel doing the story. I will link that below. It is well worth a read. But you can track Santa. You can do it on the computer, and you can put the app on your phone, iPad, whatever, and you can track him wherever he is. His last place was Hawaii, so when we found the Santa Tracker, we were stationed in Hawaii, so that was fun for the kids. They put up little videos and showing where he's at and how far he's traveled and whatever. And that we followed it in there. We followed it when we were in Hawaii. We followed it every place we've lived. We've followed it when we were, visiting family over the holidays. So a great tradition you can do anywhere, and it has a military tie. So there are 15 traditions that are portable and replicable no matter where you are living as a military family. I hope that from one military family to another, I hope you have a wonderful Christmas. And I know it can be hard to be away from family or your spouse or whatever, and just know that I'm thinking about you. And yeah, I know it's hard, especially if your spouse is deployed. That adds a whole nother layer of emotion to it. I'm going to try. So just know that you're not alone, and yeah, if you have a tradition that is portable, replicable, not necessarily coming from a military family, but I would love to hear what you have below. Always looking for new ideas, and I'd love to be able to share ideas with others.